friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to share with you 3 rustic farmhouse DIY projects that I made from Jenga blocks. So let's get started. The first project is very simple. I only used one Jenga block and I used this little hook that was in a package that came from the Dollar Tree, and I used the craft paper that I had on hand. I also used a Mod Podge and a paintbrush. So first I cut out a little piece of my craft paper, just a little bit bigger than my Jenga block, and then I put some Mod Podge all over my Jenga block. Next, I am wrapping literally the Jenga block with my craft paper, pressing it firmly so it can glue on the Jenga block, and wrapping it all around. I added Mod Podge wherever it was needed, and I made sure it was tight and snug, and I let it dry completely. When it was completely dry, I cut off the excess of the craft paper with my Exacto knife, and after that I'm sanding off the edges very lightly so I don't peel off the craft paper. And when I'm satisfied with the way it is, I am putting the top layer of Mod Podge. Now this is very versatile. You can choose to put whatever craft paper you want. You can print out your kids or grandkids pictures. You can print out the letters. You can do literally whatever you want. I decided to make it this simple because this key chain my son will use, so that's why I made it very simple. After that, I am screwing in this little hook, and that completes this keychain. I just attached the key and it was completely done. It was very, very simple to make, and I think it's really, really cute. For my second project, again, I'm using Jenga blocks, and I decided to use 14 of them. It all depends how big of a project you want to make. I decided to make it fairly small. So first thing I wanted to do is to attach 2 Jenga blocks on the shorter end, and I'm using this ruler as a guide to make sure it is straight. And I'm going to repeat this 3 times. While I'm gluing, I'm also making sure I remove excess glue that comes out. After this was done, I assembled my mini ladder, and I'm trying to make sure I put everything in the right place before I start gluing it. And now I'm gluing each piece together, creating this mini ladder. Again, I'm using my ruler as a guide to make sure it is straight. I am using only hot glue, but if you plan on recreating it, you can either use something stronger or a hot glue like me. I thought hot glue was just enough. After my ladder was assembled, I am sanding it just a little bit to smooth out the rough edges. Next, I'm using my Rust-Oleum wood stain in a weathered gray color to go over my ladder. And then after that was done, I decided to use my Waverly chalk paint in a color white to distress it just a little bit. And the only step that was left to do is to attach these mini clothespins on my ladder. That is going to serve as a clip for notes or pictures or anything that I want to use. This ladder is very small and so cute, and I plan on using it eventually in my office on my shelf. I think it's super cute, and as you saw, it was so easy to make, and I think it just gives a super cute touch to any shelf. For my third and last project, I am making mini lantern, and I'm using 19 Jenga blocks. Actually, I started off with 19 Jenga blocks. First, I am putting together 4 of them, 3 next to each other and 1 on the bottom sideways, as I'm showing over here. And I'm going to repeat this twice. This is going to be bottom and the top of my lantern. After that, I am taking 2 Jenga blocks, I am putting them together like this, gluing them together like this, and I'm going to repeat that 4 times. Next, I am taking 3 Jenga blocks, 2 I'm going to glue next to each other, and 1 will go on top of these 2 in the middle, like I'm showing over here. When all these are dried, I'm gonna sand them lightly again just to smooth out some rough edges, and especially where I glued Jenga blocks together. Now it is time to assemble my mini lantern. I am taking these straight pieces and gluing them on my base on 4 corners. You can see what I'm doing over here. After all 4 corners were glued down, I'm gonna start creating the roof of the lantern. I'm gonna take the mini base that I made and those 3 pieces, and I'm gonna glue them on top. I don't know if I explained it right, but I am sure you understand what I meant. And then I'm going to put that on top of those 4 posts, making sure they align and nothing is sticking out. At this point, I realized that I needed a thicker base, so I created 1 more base and attached it to my lantern. I think this way it looks way better. So total, I used 23 Jenga blocks to create this lantern. When all this was dried, I used my brown craft paint that I watered down to create a stain, and I stained the whole lantern. And when all this was completely dried, I used my gray craft paint and I just brushed it all over just a little bit to make it more weathered. And next, I did the exact same thing with my Waverly chalk paint in a color white. I just wanted different colors on it, and that way it's going to give it more dimension, and it's going to look more distressed. To create the hook on the top, I decided to use the jute cord that came from the Dollar Tree. I wrapped it around my finger a few times and I glued the edges, so I created kind of a ring. But to secure it, I decided to go ahead and wrap the other part of jute cord all the way around the ring, like I'm showing over here. When I was done, I used a little bit of flame just to remove those little hair sticking out, and also to make it look more weathered. And I just attached it with my hot glue on top. That completes my third project, and I'm really happy how it turned out. Again, I plan on using it on my shelf when I finish my office. I think they all are super cute. You saw how easy they were to make. Tell me in the comments down below which one was your favorite and would you recreate any of these. Give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and if you're not part of my channel, I would love to have you, so please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!